By Park Seoul, May 30. Yonhap, Password from the Third Floor, the memoir of former North Korean diplomat Tae Young-ho, offers a rare glimpse into the North's third-generation ruling dynasty from the perspective of an once unfailingly loyal diplomat who later became disillusioned with the oppressive regime. Tae, a former deputy ambassador at the North Korean embassy in London, took asylum in South Korea in the summer of 2016 with his wife and 2 sons, reportedly in a secret multi-nation operation whose details remain unknown to date. The autobiography topped the bestsellers chart of major bookstore chain Kyobo in less than 2 weeks after its publication on May 14. Born to a common family in North Korea, Tae landed a scholarship to attend junior high school in Beijing, a privilege primarily reserved for the children of high-ranking ruling party officials, but he attained it through luck, hard work and allegiance to the all-powerful ruling party. After going to university in Beijing, he quickly climbed the bureaucratic ladder at the North Korean Foreign Ministry. He was given a secret mission from Kim Jong-un's clandestine secretarial office located on the 3rd floor of the ruling Workers' Party of Korea's main building to escort Kim's older brother to Eric Clapton concerts in the British capital. With the mission, Tae was given a password to access the email from the secret office, opening his eyes to the closely knit secretarial office, which the former diplomat referred to as the control tower for retaining the Kim family dictatorship. North Korea is a society where there are only vertical command systems between the godlike Kim family and many lower organizations. There are hardly any horizontal communications between the lower organizations, they said. Under the system, all information and decisions land on the desks of the secretarial staff and then that of Kim Jong-un, he said. He explained that thanks to the top staff's exclusive information control, former leader Kim Jong-il's death in 2011 was unknown to North Korea's people or the outside world before it was publicly announced 2 days later. North Korea may be the only country in the world where the death of a leader could be buried for 2 days. The same thing could happen in the event of Kim Jong-un's death. Tae Young-ho expresses his allegiance in front of the South Korean flag ahead of his lecture at the National Assembly on May 14, 2018. Yonhap, Tae gives Kim Jong-il an almost admiring tribute for his artful mix of dual play and time-wasting to sidestep its past denuclearization deals and international accusations of human rights violations. The order Kim Jong-il gave top negotiator Kang Sok-ju as he left for Geneva for talks with the U.S. "What we need is time. Earn more time," they said, claiming the late leader from the beginning had no intention to implement the deal. North Korea-U.S. talks in the Swiss city later led to the Geneva Agreed Framework in 1994, which ended the first North Korea nuclear crisis. In the face of next nuclear crisis, the late leader resorted to North Korea's relations with Britain as leverage to fend off the George W. Bush administration's demand that North Korea follow the Libyan denuclearization model to dismantle its nuclear program. Having joined the U.S. in the much-criticized war against Iraq in 2003, London was unwilling to engage in another U.S.-led war. North Korea was confident that, without support from the UK, the U.S. would not use force against the North, the memoir said in one of many insightful observations that could be applicable to today's North Korean diplomacy and denuclearization process. Tae was at the forefront of the North Korean diplomatic engagement with London at that time, spending his 2 previous overseas posts in London before his defection in 2016. His time in London was tinged with mixed feelings of pride and self-pity, having to accomplish out-of-date, ideologically charged diplomatic missions from Pyongyang on a small budget in the highly affluent, politically diverse Free Society. He hated himself for having to threaten a suburban British barber to take down a poster of Kim Jong-un with his trademark hairdo, which the barber used to promote his business. Fear-stricken, the barber tore down the poster in front of Tae and a fellow smartly besuited diplomat. But Tae swelled with pride after successfully hosting the first overseas performance of a North Korean band of disabled children in the UK. What drove such a conformist North Korean elite diplomat to desert his country was neither the hassles of his diplomatic career nor any solid ideological resistance. He was undeniably born and raised in the golden era of North Korea. It was working, though partly, as a socialist country that provides for people's needs. I was proud of my country and faithful to it, and even now I am not very ashamed of the facts, they said. But it's entirely different for my children. They are a generation that did not benefit from the country and whose personal pride and patriotism were ravaged. The last straw came when one of his sons was forced to return Pyongyang. The authorities wanted to use diplomats' children as hostages to prevent potential defections, but instead of sending his older son home, he headed to South Korea. Thay's high-profile defection in 2016 coined the new media term, immigration defection, taking a cue from immigrants who cross borders in search of better opportunities for the next generation. Thay's arrival in Seoul was also one of the last of a string of North Korean defectors arriving in the South under a media spotlight. In the wake of the whirlwind diplomacy between the two Koreas under the Moon Jae-in administration this year, North Korean defectors' calls for the liberation of their home country have gradually been overshadowed by government efforts to mend ties with Pyongyang. Possibly mindful of that, Thay left a lot of sensitive information out of the publication, including even the roughest details of his risky journey from London to Seoul. Shortly after the publication, Thay resigned from his post at the state-run Institute for National Security Strategy, hinting that his book and its criticisms of the North Korean regime are not in tandem with Seoul's current North Korea policy. The North has also expressed irritation about Thay, calling him human scum, and citing his special lecture at the National Assembly in May as one of the reasons it called off the high-level government talks with the South, originally set for May 16. Combined with the controversy, a wave of groundless internet rumor that his book may soon be forbidden by the government, has led to it becoming an instant hit. The publisher, Guy Paring, said it has yet to sign any contracts to publish the book outside South Korea. The Korean book is now on sale at major bookstores on and offline with a price tag of 20,000 won, $18.50. Thay Young-ho's book, Password from the Third Floor, is on display at a local bookstore on May 25, 2018. Yonhap PBR at yna.co.kr. End.